Hello, good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Roger Johnson. Monday evening, thank you for joining us. Our top story. Shattered dreams. Ryan's ex-partner lied about him fathering her child. Now he wants the law changed.
I felt numb, I felt shocked. I was so hurt by this and it was just devastation.
Ryan's ex, Beth Fernley, was spared jail after forging DNA test results. Also tonight, a party 35 years in the making. Thousands celebrate Liverpool's Premier League title at Anfield.
We're at Anfield tonight, which is altogether quieter than it was 24 hours ago. We'll look back on that historic title win and look to the future under manager Arne Slot later in the programme.
Also, we'll look into one of the big issues ahead of next month's local elections.
And it's been a pleasant start to the week. Some upper level cloud, but that's going to clear. And tomorrow and Wednesday look beautiful. But will it be a heat wave? Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
Now, when Ryan Hampson's ex-partner gave birth to a baby girl, he couldn't have been happier. He was the father, and she'd shown him a DNA test result to prove it. But it was a lie. She'd forged the document and other letters to dupe him. And now he wants changes in the law to stop it happening to anyone else. Ryan's ex, Beth Fernley, avoided jail. Kelly Foran has been to see Ryan and his mum.
Becoming a daddy was Ryan's proudest moment.
I absolutely adored her.
But it was all snatched away.
Yeah.
When his former girlfriend said she was pregnant, he asked for a DNA test which showed he was the father. But it was all a lie.
I contemplated life. In the end, you're grieving over a child that's still alive today. And that's the hardest thing that anyone could ever have to go through, in my opinion.
It was more than a spoken lie. When the baby was a toddler, Ryan received a letter from the DNA company to say there'd been a mistake. It was then that the level of forgery and deception started to unravel, that this letter and the original DNA test were completely fake.
And there's no footer at the bottom of the letter.
And the person who signed it
didn't work. No, they don't work for the company.
When Ryan contacted the DNA company to ask questions, they told him this.
They told me that there was no record of me. They never sent the letter to me, and they actually told me to seek legal advice because they actually thought I was a victim of fraud.
How did you feel, you know, when you had your phone in your hand and you heard that news from the DNA company?
I felt numb, I felt shocked. I was so hurt by this and it was just devastation. I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. There was no such thing as a letter or a DNA test.
Watching my son, his whole world fall apart, as well at the same time as trying to process what's actually happened and the fact that there's been so much deceit, not just to Ryan but to us as well. It's heartbreaking.
Beth Fernley, who'd been his girlfriend since school, pleaded guilty to fraud by false representation and was spared jail. Ryan and his family want more recognition and punishment for paternity fraud.
We are a victim of fraud and I felt like this should have been taken a lot more seriously.
The Home Office say paternity fraud is a truly terrible crime and those who provide false information on a birth certificate already face a criminal conviction. Ryan wanted to keep a relationship with the child, but the biological father is now back.
Not a day went by where I had her and I would just come home and just cry. And the hardest thing I ever done was to let her go.
He's working to rebuild everything that was taken away from him. Kelly Foran, BBC North West Tonight, Warrington.
If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in Kelly's report, you can find support and advice on the BBC Action Line. That's the web address, bbc.co.uk/action line. Now, it's been coming, but finally, Liverpool clinched the Premier League title yesterday. They won it during COVID, you might remember, back in 2020, when the grounds were largely empty and the celebrations were restrained. Well, that aside, this was the club's first since 1990 and their 20th top-flight title of all time. That puts them alongside Manchester United as the most successful club in English domestic football. Let's talk to Ian Haslam. He's at a slightly quieter Anfield for us tonight. They did it in style in the end yesterday, Ian.
They did, yeah. They thrashed Tottenham. Liverpool then very much back on their perch. This time yesterday, it was a sea of red smoke from all the flares. A little bit of blue in there as well, apparently, from one or two Everton pranksters. Today, it's all quiet, bar the likes of us, TV crews from this region and across the world. Such is the interest in this historic moment at this historic football club. Among the many thousands of people here yesterday was our very own Phil Cunliffe. And here's his report on that momentous moment.
It was a day when the blue above Anfield turned smoky red. A day of wild, unconfined joy. On the streets and on the pitch.
A perfect day.
What a contrast to 5 years ago when Liverpool lifted the Premier League in front of empty stands due to lockdown. No wonder the fans wanted to party hard this time.
So this is what it means to Liverpool fans to win the Premier League title for a second time. This is not even Anfield. This is just the pub round the corner. 20 leagues, champions!
In 2020 we sat in the back garden with the telly outside, and today it's just amazing that we can all be down here and celebrate together. We've been in a pub not far from the ground and the atmosphere was just amazing.
To be crowned English champions for a record-equalling 20th time, Liverpool had only needed to avoid defeat.
Everybody could feel that we were never going to lose this game. The fans were so supportive before the game, during the game, that even when we were 1-0 down, you could feel that this team and these fans were able to get this one over the line. We're going to enjoy the last few games we're going to play, and then we will, for sure, be really good next season again.
One season, one championship.
He's done his own thing, he's been calm, he's brought a bit of solidity to the team, and I think that's what we needed, so we can grab those extra points that have made all the difference.
Everyone played really well. I would say McAllister, I thought, stood out to me, but everyone was great.
Brilliant performance, and the end up was a 5-1. Couldn't get any better. Brilliant. Over the moon. Brilliant. Let's go on the beer now.
1, 2, 3, go.
I'm so happy, you know, like I traveled over 6,000 miles from Ghana to this day. You'll never get that again. To be here today is just amazing.
Perfect day?
Perfect day. The perfect weather, perfect day.
Heady days for the Reds then, and with 4 more games still to come. It could take a while before the songs die down and the red dust settles. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
Funnily enough, someone's just set off a red flare about 100 metres behind us. I can taste it. I don't think you can see it in the camera behind us, but it's been confirmed today, by the way, that Liverpool's victory parade will be on Bank Holiday Monday. That's the 26th of May. So that's the day after the final game of the season. It'll start at 2:30 in the afternoon and will be on the same 15-kilometre route as they did in 2019 and 2022, those parades. It's starting at Allerton Maze and it finishes on Blundell Street. I'll be back with the rest of the sport and more here from Anfield in about 15 minutes time, 10 minutes, I don't know. Anyway, back to you, Rog.
All right, Ian, we'll be back with you. Thank you very much. Ian Haslam there live for us at Anfield tonight. Now, the ringleader of a gang of white men who sexually abused underage girls has been jailed for 15 years. Ashley Derbyshire from West Horton near Bolton started grooming his main victim when she was just 13. 10 men are being sentenced for their crimes, which centred on a house in Blackrod near Bolton, where the girls were plied with drink and drugs. Andy Gill's at Liverpool Crown Court live for us tonight, this evening. So, Andy, tell us first of all what Ashley Derbyshire admitted.
Well, last month, Roger, Ashley Derbyshire admitted 19 offences against 5 girls between 2016 and 2018. Today, the court was told that he met his principal victim on Facebook when he was 19 and she was just 13. He was aware of how old she was. The court heard that he fostered an infatuation in the girl, but the fact that he was prepared to share her with his friends showed what the court was told was a callous disregard for her. The judge said his attitude was coldly sexual without a hint of warmth or affection, and the judge praised the way the girl gave her evidence in the trial of the other men with courage and fortitude, contrasted to what the judge said was the dishonest and fanciful evidence of the defendants. In a victim statement read to the court today, the girl said that Derbyshire destroyed her in every way. She said that Ashley Derbyshire took everything from her when she was a child. Greater Manchester Police said this abuse could have happened to any girl from any family.
This isn't just about girls who are living in care homes or who have had poor upbringings. I think this demonstrates the power of social media and the online world, where our children can be accessible to so many people and so many things that us as parents might not realise.
And Andy, just explain to us how all this abuse came to light.
This was in June 2018, Roger, when one of the gang members took a car belonging to another gang member's dad while he was drunk. He crashed it and the girl got a bad eye injury. She couldn't explain it away at school the next day, and that's how the whole story eventually came out. 3 other members of the gang were also sentenced today. Brandon Harwood got 10 years. Ross Corey got 2 years and 4 months, and Harvey Aston was given a suspended sentence. The other gang members will be sentenced here tomorrow.
Andy, thank you very much. Andy Gill there, live for us at Liverpool Crown Court. Right, let's take a look at a couple of the other stories which are making headlines in the Northwest tonight. And the father of a 14-year-old boy who was killed in a crash on the M6 has appeared in court, charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Ryan Liam Morgan from Morecambe was killed when the van in which he was a passenger crashed into a tree. His father, who was driving the vehicle, has been remanded to appear at Preston Crown Court next month. And the Isle of Man's Chief Minister has been criticised for accusing a former health minister of gaslighting. Alfred Cannon made the comments after Laurie Hooper resigned from the Council of Ministers in October. It was all in a row over funding. A Tynwald committee said that Cannon's comments were unacceptable and should be withdrawn. Now we're heading towards the local elections, of course, and in Lancashire they're going to be electing a new county council. In fact, the Prime Minister was in the county this morning visiting a health centre in Rossendale. I don't know what people were talking to him about, but you've been telling us what's on your mind in Your Voice, Your Vote. And roads and transport are a big issue in Lancashire and, let's face it, in many parts of the northwest. Eric McAvoy wrote, he said, potholes, 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 potholes. Forget the politics, just do it. It's only going to get worse, if that's possible, he says. It is pretty bad in lots of places. Tony Ford also mentions the shocking states of the roads and motorways. And Tom Nisbet, who has dyspraxia and can't drive, asks how can access to public life be improved in rural areas with such poor quality public transport? Well, Stuart Pollitt has taken a little road trip through the Red Rose County to look for answers.
We're on a journey through Lancashire, keeping an eye on the tarmac as we go. That's because in the home of the hot pot, the hot topic at the moment is potholes. Apparently only 7% of drivers here are happy with the state of the roads. Not a pothole in sight at this new bypass near Preston, where we met the Conservative councillor in charge of roads.
I understand people's frustrations. I'm a driver myself, but everything costs money. You know, the highways budget at Lancashire's 3% out of our £2 billion annual budget.
Should it be more then, perhaps, potentially? Is that an option for you as a council?
We'd all love more. This year's budget, we identified another £45 million of Lancashire's money to spend on highways.
Next stop, Preston's famous bus station. Labour want to use some of the council's reserves on the roads.
The council is currently sitting on over £100 million of unallocated reserves. That's money just in the bank waiting to be spent. Now, we think that's too much, frankly. And clearly, when we're knocking on doors, the single most common issue that's brought up by Lancashire residents is the crumbling state of our highway network.
Other parties hoping to pick up seats have also picked up on the pothole issue.
We've identified £30 million that we can put into highways. And that's not just about potholes, which are really important. It's about resurfacing. You can't just keep patching up and hoping the roads are going to withstand. I mean, look at the cars these days. They're so much more heavier, and that's why the roads are not in a good state.
We have this ridiculous policy where potholes have to be of a certain depth or a certain width before they're even treated, and it's the Liberal Democrats who've argued that we need to reduce the size of the potholes that will be done to make it more effective and fill more of them.
Our last stop is Lancaster. For the Greens, the bigger issue is around buses in the county.
Obviously potholes are an issue, but everyone's wanting to improve that. That improves the roads for cyclists, but the real golden opportunity we've got right now is to take back control over our bus services across the whole county, and that's what we've got to seize the opportunity right now. It's what they've done in Manchester through its B network.
As all roads lead to the polling booth, will potholes damage any of the party's prospects in this county? Stuart Pollitt, BBC North West Tonight, Lancashire.
Well, you can see details of all the candidates standing in Lancashire, if that's where you live, on the BBC website. Right, let's take a look at some of the other stories that people are reading this evening from BBC News. And a metal detectorist who planned to sell Anglo-Saxon coins could be sent back to jail. Roger Pilling from Rottenstall has to pay £103,000 because 2 coins are missing. Glossop Mountain Rescue have released this picture of the rescue of a woman in the Peak District yesterday. She was winched to a helicopter after falling on the Seven Falls Walk. And Hugo and Darcy ice skate together in Blackpool, and now they are playing the young Torville and Dean in the Olympic Champions Farewell Arena Tour, which comes to Manchester and Liverpool next month. Find out more, bbc.co.uk/local news, or, of course, as always, on the BBC News app. Now, you may have seen earlier today, you will know, we reported this last week, that the fathers of 2 of the girls who were killed in the Southport attack last July were among the thousands of runners who took part in the London Marathon yesterday. David Stankham and Sergio Aguirre, Elsie and Alice's dads, were cheered on by friends and family, as well as the parents of BB King, the youngest victim of the attack. They're fundraising for projects set up in memory of the girls.
I never once doubted he wouldn't do it for else. You've done us so proud today, and me.
It's what she wanted, so I was always going to do it, yeah. And I hope I've done her proud.
I just keep telling her, just help me just going forward. I just said to her, I should be help you, now you help to me, but I need your help now. Please help me do it. Just cross the line. Doesn't matter what time, but just help me cross the line.
We can't quite grasp how big everything's become from all of this, but we now realise that we've got a good opportunity to do some good.
Worst tragedy has brought us together, but it's also brought us all strength and love.
Really, really well done to them. Now, closer to home, 4 BBC Radio Manchester presenters were among the 36,000 runners who took part in yesterday's Manchester Marathon. They were on the same day for the first time I can remember. Joel Mitchell, Joe McGrath, Michelle Dignan and Gaz Drinkwater completed a relay in just over 4 hours. Really well done to them.
Bits of it keep coming back to me, and I've spoken to friends who did the full thing, and when they got to Timpley, which for them was like they were hot, they were sweaty, they were tired, and there was a care home, and the care home had got the residents sat out in the front with their sandwiches and their cups of tea, which might have been a bit too hot for a cup of tea, watching it. And that moment, you know, it wasn't sweat, it wasn't sun cream, it was definitely tears.
Yeah, really well done to everybody who did the Manchester Marathon as well. Hats off to all of you, to be honest. Absolutely fantastic. Right, we hope to be back with Ian at Liverpool in just a minute to reflect a bit more on them winning the Premier League title. It was also a significant weekend, of course, for Manchester City. Well done to them. They have reached the FA Cup final for the 3rd year in a row. They'll be back at Wembley to play Crystal Palace next month. After beating Nottingham Forest there 2-0 yesterday, Rico Lewis got the first goal, Josko Guardiola got the second. Pep Guardiola looking for a third FA Cup win as the Manchester City manager. He was asked if he thought that winning it would save their season.
No, the season has not been good. We are 1,000 million points behind Liverpool. Come on. So it's not good. Season has not been good. The club has to take decisions, the right ones, to next season be better.
Yeah, good luck to City in the final. Also this weekend in the Premier League, Manchester United drew, Everton lost. In the EFL, the season is far from over for some of our teams. Found form out of nowhere and could make the Championship playoffs. Here they are, beating Watford by 2-1. Preston, who we featured on Friday's programme, could go down, though, next weekend. They lost 2-1 at home to bottom club Plymouth. In League One, Tanto Alafe's goal won it for Stockport against Lincoln. They're heading into the playoffs. While in League Two, Salford City are in the playoff places after a 4-1 win over Colchester. At the bottom, Tranmere Rovers are safe. In the WSL, Manchester City kept alive their hopes of a Champions League place with victory over Leicester. And in Super League, Wigan went second in the table yesterday after beating Hull FC 36-12 away from home. Bevan French with 2 of the Warriors' tries. Salford Red Devils fed to a 5th defeat in a row, beaten at home by Lee Leopards. They lost by 28 points to 6. Sorry if the pictures didn't quite keep up with my words there. We are hoping to go back to Ian, but before we do that, I don't think we really need an awful lot of dissecting over the weather. We all know it's been rather pleasant, Kay.
Pleasant, beautiful.
And you've got a new place on the map today as well.
Oh, keep your beady eyes out. See if you can spot it, a new place on the map. Thank you for your suggestions. And he's right, the weather has been gorgeous. And today, well, to be fair, we've had a lot of upper level cloud, haven't we? And it's led to photographs like this. Live Lad sent this picture. Now, this is a 22-degree halo. And this one looks like a sundog. Now, these happen when light is refracted and reflected through the ice crystals in cirrus cloud. Beautiful photographs. Thank you for sending those in. If you would like to join me on socials, you can see a rather cheeky reel that we've just posted about me saying you should probably take a day off on Wednesday. More on that in a minute. Or you can become a BBC weather watcher and let me know what it's like in your parts of the world. So, what's going on this week? Well, you'll have heard. Plenty of sunshine. It's going to warm up really quite nicely. Increasingly sunny through tomorrow and Wednesday. And actually, a lot of the following week is going to be sunny. It's going to peak on Wednesday. Now, that's in terms of temperatures. We're going to get to about 25 or 26 degrees. Then we start to see a shower risk briefly on Thursday. It'll feel more humid. The showers could be a bit thundery in nature. So what is going on? Well, we've got high pressure in charge of the weather. Now, it's going to gradually push away to the east as we head towards Thursday. Low pressure is going to throw a cold front our way. For most of us, we're just going to see increasing cloud, the risk of a few showers. But with that humid air, they could be thundery before high pressure starts to build in again. So a lot more settled weather coming as we head towards the weekend, which is, of course, another bank holiday weekend. Now, through this evening, we get that cloud that we've had through today continuing to clear to the north. And it's going to be a dry night. It's going to be a relatively mild night. Temperatures down to around about 8 to 10 degrees. Have you spotted it on the map yet? A new place. You've seen it, I know you have. So, a mild night, a mild start to your day tomorrow morning. Plenty of sunshine. There could be a few patches of mist around. That will lift and clear. Now, through the day tomorrow, sunshine could turn a little bit hazy at times. It's not going to affect anything. Temperatures, I mean, check that out. In parts of Lancashire, we should get to 25 degrees. In order for it to be a heat wave, we need 25 degrees on 3 consecutive days. Will we do it? Well, definitely will do. On Wednesday, we're going to get to about 25 or 26 degrees. You can see the oranges on the map. But here's that area of low pressure with that cold front starting to push in. Briefly, though, because we do start to get warmer air coming back as we head towards Saturday. So, heat wave. We're on the fence. We're definitely going to get 24 or 25 degrees tomorrow. We're going to get 25, possibly 26 degrees on Wednesday. Thursday, though, this is a day where I've talked about those showers, where temperatures will start to just drop down, but we pick up again as we head towards Saturday. And for the bank holiday, it's not looking bad at all.
Oh, say that again.
I'm not saying it's warm and like boiling hot, but it looks pleasant. Just chasing cloud amounts, bank holiday Monday.
That's not too bad.
Round to yours.
So how are the potholes around your neck of the woods?
Not good. There was one right outside our house for ages.
So Andy sends this from Rochdale. He calls it Pothole Central. Quality of repair. Just repair them properly. They don't do it. And that's exactly what Kathy says where she lives. If potholes were mended properly, they wouldn't need to be mended so often. Got loads around where I live as well, I must admit. Listen, we were hoping to go back to Ian. We're going to hear lots more about Liverpool winning the league over the next few weeks anyway. They've got 4 more games to play. But we will leave you with some of your pictures of celebrations if you're a Liverpool fan. And thank you for watching. Good night.